Hey, you know what I really want to talk about? I want to talk about the app that we're going to have for our Reaching California vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. I mean, I love it because I know that at convention, it's for the first time, our pastors are going to be able to download it. We've been talking about this forever,
For weeks,
right? For weeks, for months. It's been in development for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And so on there, this app is going to be where they're going to be able to report baptisms and talk about outreaches and see the map of where different churches are at in our state and where we need prayer. It's going to be an app that is really going to be a go-to for our pastors in the future. But really, it's going to help us celebrate and track the things that we're trying to do in the next 10 years in this Reaching California vision, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. So it's rolling out at convention. We know that it'll be sort of phase one, but there's a lot of things that I'm excited about it because what it's going to keep track of is our collective celebration, the things we're celebrating collectively.
That's right.
So sometimes we feel like, I had one baptism and that's great.
Right.
And you put it in and the church down the street puts theirs in and before you're like, as a state, we baptized this many people just this Sunday.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's going to have badges and kind of all these fun little things.
I always tell people, we can celebrate when people raise up their hands. Or back in the day, we would celebrate when people walk up the aisle. And sometimes they'd walk up the aisle because they just wanted prayer, not because they were receiving Jesus. But we thought everyone coming up was receiving Jesus. But there's no mistaking that when somebody has been discipled and then they get baptized, they're saying to everybody, my old self is dead and now I've been risen with Christ. I'm alive in Christ. And so we want to be able to track those kind of things. We want to be able to track things that really speak to what God is doing with his church in California.
Well, it really speaks to our cooperative spirit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I tell people all the time, if there's one thing that we cooperate with, that the biggest thing we cooperate with, right, as Southern Baptist churches in California, we have 1,000 churches that give through the cooperative program.
Right.
I'm hoping that we have that many and more churches cooperating through the app, just sharing the blessings.
Yeah.
Could you imagine we get that many baptizing? Just seeing those kind of results of the gospel going out when they start reporting the baptisms on, and it's going to be easier. When you got an app, it's easier to report. Nobody likes looking up the ACP, finding your ID number, filling in all that kind of stuff. But you're bringing it now to their phone to where we can all be connected as a convention and be celebrating on a weekly basis. We don't have to wait around to the end of the year to celebrate.
That's right. That's right.
Welcome to the GC Collective podcast, brought to you by the California Southern Baptist Convention. From local missions to global impact, we explore the vision, passion, and heart behind our collective movement in California and around the world. Where better together isn't just a motto, it's how we maximize our impact in fulfilling the Great Commission.
Hello, California Southern Baptist family. Welcome back to the GC Collective Podcast. It's a special edition, guys. We're here to talk about the convention. I don't know why we call that a special edition.
Yeah, 2025 annual meeting.
Annual meeting, which means nothing. We're not going to do our regular something to celebrate.
No, in a couple of days, we've got a lot to celebrate.
That's right.
Come to the annual meeting and you'll find out.
That's right. That's right. So everything you need to know about annual meeting, you're going to find out here. So make sure you stay to the very close of our show today. But also, did you notice?
But we still do the funny story.
Oh, we do.
Yeah,
of
course.
Oh, this funny story is off the charts.
Did you notice our new swag, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, right on.
I put my water in here.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have quite a few listeners out, in the wild, and we've gotten feedback about the water bottles. And I agreed with that feedback, truthfully. So thank you for following along and listening to the show.
Hey,
because
I'm glad to hear that we got listeners.
It got us real mugs and coasters.
I saw the coasters. These are awesome. Your cooperative program at work.
No,
thank you.
Come
I'm joking.
We do have to protect the table. All right, annual meeting happening in Milpitas. It's always confusing to talk about the dates. We say October 23rd, 24th.
Right.
But in actuality, things start the day prior to that.
Right.
Because of the pastors' conference.
And this year, even a couple days prior to that, because one of our Filipino ethnic fellowships is meeting 2 days before we actually start convention, actually 3 days before we actually start convention, and they're doing a prayer time. So, yes, there's a lot of events that happen before the actual annual business meeting begins.
But the meeting itself, October 23rd, 24th, New Vision Church in Milpitas.
That's correct.
Make sure you register as a messenger, and then if you have extra people, register as a guest. All available online at csbc.com. So before we get to anything, let's talk about the theme. So the theme is United in Prayer and on Mission. This was a very thought-through theme that our Committee on Convention Operations developed, and they really wanted it to be an extension of the themes that we've had in the last couple of years, which have really been focused on better together.
Yes. But this time we wanted to focus on two things, right? And one of them was prayer.
Right.
We have been bathing everything that we do in prayer, just crying out to the Lord using scripture, right, to exalt Christ. We've been doing this with pastors. We've been leading prayer meetings at churches and equipping pastors to lead their people in prayer. And you've seen a lot of our stuff that's come out of also this week at CSBC, encouraging people to pray, how important it is to be connected with the Lord, in relationship with the Lord. That's a sign of a healthy church, right? And seeking for the Lord for counsel. So that's one of the things that was important for us, right? Is prayer. The other one was
on mission,
right? And that's what we're all about, right? Doing the Great Commission in California, around the world. And so we will be talking about that greatly as we're rolling out our 10-year vision of reaching California.
Yeah, I think it's really great. I think this whole prayer thing, it's not that we have forgotten, but we've put it back into its proper place.
Well, to be quite honest with you, sometimes as Southern Baptists, we kind of get worried about prayer, right? We don't want to be seen as charismatics, doing prayer around the state. You should be doing that in your prayer closet.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
But we're also called to pray together.
So can we expect some sort of a prayer element happening at convention?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, we will have some groups that will be meeting beforehand. Actually, the Filipino and the Chinese fellowships, they will have different prayer times before and then during their program as well.
Okay. I'd say we're a real praying convention. Everywhere we go, prayer is at the core, at the beginning, middle, and the end of everything we're doing. And that is flowing from the scripture and from our local churches. We got some churches in our convention that I think they may pray more than anything else they do.
Yeah.
And I think it's why we may be seeing such a movement of the Lord in this generation.
Yeah. So traditionally, we start with the Pastors' Conference.
Yes.
That's one day before the proper meeting. So tell us a little bit about the Pastors' Conference. What can we expect?
The Pastors' Conference this year is led by Dr. Scott Hill.
Yes.
That's right. He's a doctor now, by the way.
Yes.
When did he graduate?
Yeah. Well, he hasn't graduated, but he did get approved.
Okay, great.
So
proud of that guy.
Yeah. So Dr. Scott Hill is leading our Pastors' Conference. It will start. Here's the most important thing. We always got to remind people. It starts Thursday at 3 p.m.
Correct.
And the theme is Set Apart, Embracing the Beauty and Power of the Church in a Compromised World. Here's the key to what they're getting at. So often our world is blending together. Everything's about coming together, but the church is called to be set apart. Really the beauty of the church, the excellence of the church. This is something that has been instituted by God. It's called out by God. It's created by God. It is not of the world.
That's right.
And too often our churches are trying to be like the world in order to reach the world.
Right.
We need to be reminded of how to be different.
Right. We're called to be holy, set apart to do the holy things.
And that comes through preaching the Word of God, living holy, prayer, all these things we're talking about. And so at the Pastors' Conference, you're going to hear about this in a fresh way. We've got some great speakers lined up, many of our own in-state preachers, including the Replant Pastor of the Year will be there. But someone that many of you probably will be very excited to hear about is H.B. Charles. Is going to be one of the keynote speakers at the Pastors' Conference. H.B. Charles, as most of y'all know, is one of the best expositors in this generation. And so we are so delighted. We work real hard. In fact, I'll say Scott Hill worked really hard to get to get Dr. Charles here.
Right.
It wasn't easy.
No,
He's a very busy man, very sought after.
Right.
But to have him at the California Pastors Conference is a big deal, and it speaks to what we're going for.
Sure. Yeah. We really had to work really hard to get him. I remember us reaching out to some of the pastors that have met him in the past, and he had an issue with his admin, and we were trying to get him for the state convention, and unfortunately, we were not able to put him in our program. But I'm so happy that he is on the program for the Pastors Conference. And that whole program and the time of all that will be on the website of the Pastors Conference.
It's all there right now.
And you can go see when he's going to be preaching and when different people are going to be preaching. And I just encourage you, if you want to come and hear the word be taught in a way that honors the Lord, the Pastors Conference is going to be a great place to get that.
Yeah,
sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I want to clarify, because we get this question a lot, in the communications department, is that the Pastors Conference is free. There's no cost to go.
Absolutely free.
Right.
And not
you
only
don't have to
free,
pre-register.
there's giveaways. There's things you get if you come and attend, because the Pastors Conference tries to invest. And by the way, the Pastors Conference is paid for by donations of local churches here in our state.
And your cooperative program as well.
And your cooperative program.
Right, for sure.
In fact, the CSBC is paying a lot of the expenses of that location. People don't often think about that. But we couldn't even have that Pastors Conference without the support of the CSBC and the cooperative program and all the other things that go into this whole event. But I want people to know, because oftentimes the annual meeting is a business meeting, and there's going to be a lot of business talked about and celebrating things, and people ask, well, what about worship? What about the word? Mm-hmm. What about those matters? Well, we have those. It's called the Pastors Conference. And you don't have to be a pastor to attend.
Right.
Anybody can come, worship together with us. It will be one of the greatest blessings that you'll receive this year. Make sure you don't forget, it starts at 3 p.m. Mm-hmm. So you got to get there kind of in the middle of the day, and it'll go through that first night, and then it'll be again early that next morning.
So let's pivot then to who's the keynote for the convention and who's doing the worship.
Well, before we get there, Sarah, I would say that if you're a local pastor in the Bay Area and if your church would like to come out and hear some of this great preaching,
yes,
I would encourage bring your leaders.
Bring your leaders.
I think it's going to be a blessing for them. Again, it's free.
Yeah.
So why not bring them out?
Yeah.
And then on Friday night, the main speaker for the annual meeting business part, we usually have one preacher that comes in. And this year we have Dr. Tony Wolf, my friend from South Carolina. Mm-hmm. He's the executive director there. And he's a young man, graduate of Southern. He goes and preaches at the seminary quite often. He also is one of the editors of the book that we'll be giving away at convention, A Unity of Purpose. And he's going to be talking about the reason we cooperate and the blessing of cooperating through the cooperative program.
Yes.
And so it's going to be great. I think that people are going to really enjoy those that are going to be bringing the word at convention this year.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, and he was the convention preacher for National last year. So
and he did a great job.
Yeah,
yes.
He really did.
Yes.
And who's doing the worship?
So the worship leader this year is Brother Eric Berumen, that is at Southwinds in Tracy. He is the worship pastor there, and I'm excited about him leading us. I've been to that church multiple times. I've seen their team lead worship. They know how to bring people before the throne of God and lead them in song. And so I'm really encouraged to have him, one of our great churches that we have up in Northern California.
Amen. And I think the Lord blesses our convention because of the fact that we worship together. Mm-hmm. We come together. We got business to talk about.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have a really biblical preacher, godly music, and singing and fellowship, it's a bonding together, because out here in California, we're on a mission field. And that unity that we have together is so essential for us accomplishing the mission that God's given us.
Yeah, and I've been working with him a lot because of the tech side, and he's been recruiting other worship leaders from around the state to join the team. So it's going to be well represented I think. It's going to be really great. All right. Let's talk a little bit about any big business that we know is going to come, because really that's,
sure.
our whole purpose.
I think the big thing is going to be voting for the budget. We've talked about it. We've put it all on social media.
It's on the website.
It's on the website. And, the great thing is that because of how we're seeing cooperative program giving continue to be consistent and actually up above what the goal was for this year, next year our budget cooperative program objective goes up by $100,000, and we will be sending now 31% to the national and not 30 like we did this year. So that's going up, and that's going to be voted on.
Yep.
Anything over 5.1 million will be sent to the national.
Okay.
And so I'm really excited about that. And the other thing that we're voting on is that we get to elect a whole new president.
I don't like the word get.
Okay.
Can somebody go to the floor and ask for a third term?
Yeah, no kidding.
We love Roland.
Oh my goodness, he has done such an amazing job. I mean, I've bragged about him so much.
Yeah.
He's just a humble servant, right?
Now he would turn it down.
Right. But we get to see somebody else now serve at least for this year and maybe a second term.
Yeah.
And so I really don't know how many people will be nominated because it happens on the floor, right, of the convention.
So I'm going to say 2 more years.
I'll start it. I'll start it.
Well, no.
Can we change his name?
No, let's not do that. Let's not get into that game.
I'm telling you, he would turn it down.
I'll tell you guys, folks, I always have to pull back on Sarah, but we are not going to be pushing anybody, and we're not promoting anybody. We don't do that. Let's.
Fine.
Sarah.
He's so great. Since we're talking about the business, I do want to make note that this is rolling out on October 13th. The resolution portal is closing in 4 days.
Right.
So October 16th, the resolution portal is going to close. And so you want to make sure that if you have something you want to submit, you better get to that. Right. That's on the website as well.
And we're not going to be voting on this, but we will have a report from my behalf, on behalf of myself and the team here in Fresno about the 10-year vision about reaching California. You will have a presentation about how we see the next 10 years as California Southern Baptist churches work together with our partners in our churches to do the Great Commission work here in California and around the world. I'm excited about the reports that we're going to give with the revitalization and with the church planting and just all of it. It's just really exciting to me to see, just from having gone to the listening sessions and getting feedback. I think there's a lot to be excited about.
There's a lot going on.
Yes, for
People
sure.
often ask, what is the value of the CSBC? Hey, I'm telling you, man, there is a lot going on.
Right.
And we're getting more done with that CP money maybe than ever before because of the way it's being stewarded and managed. And big kudos to what you're doing and the trustees. And if you want to hear some exciting things, be at this meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. And one other final note as far as the program goes, I know that our team's working really hard to put together a great segment about celebrating the cooperative program.
Right. I'm excited about, just celebrating the great accomplishments of the cooperative program here in California and over the last 100 years.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that we look back and thank God for that, but then also to be reminded of what the next 10 years look like as we continue to work together.
Right. Anything else that we can think of as far as the main meeting time? I feel like we hit it all.
I think the other thing that will be exciting will be to hear from Roland, our president. Last year, you guys remember, he gave up his time for another pastor, actually one of our directors of mission from the True North, to come and share what it's like to minister and relate to other pastors. And this time, I'm longing to hear from him because every time I talk to him, the perspective that he's gotten of who we are as a convention and all the work that we have to do, I think it's a real good eye opener for our people to hear from the president. So I'm excited about his report.
Yeah, and all our entities will report, including
Absolutely.
Gateway, the foundation,
Yes.
CBU.
And CBU is celebrating 75 years. This is their 75th year.
Yeah.
And they're going to be doing doing all kinds of stuff on campus, and I know that Dr. Alice is going to bring the report about that, and so that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. And California Family Council.
Yes, they do some amazing work. People always ask us, well, why doesn't the convention speak about this, and why doesn't the convention speak about that? And it's not that we're silent; it's that our convention says we want to use the family council as our voice out there when it comes to certain issues.
Yes.
And so they speak on our behalf. And so it's going to be great to have them with us once again, reporting. And I'm excited.
I know you get worked up. You get worked up.
I'm sorry. I'm excited. But, I get to serve on your behalf on the boards. And so another thing that I get to hear is how well the Baptist Foundation is doing, how well they're doing in raising money and raising money for the future. And Jonathan Jarbo and his team, they're just doing a great job. So I'm excited about the breakfast they're going to have. I'm excited about the report he's going to bring and just where they're at and how God has continued to allow them to raise money for the future. Yeah. And so it's just really exciting time for all our Baptist family.
Yeah, so that's a perfect pivot for us to start talking about some of these auxiliary events. And there are so many auxiliary events happening.
Well, you would know. It's your job to coordinate who's going to be where.
We're recording this on the day that we published all of the registration links. It took me forever to collect all of those registration links. Right. But Gateway has their dinner. The foundation has their breakfast. The ministers' wives... Brenda Lackey's been taking the reins on that.
Right,
the Minister's Wives
with
Luncheon.
her team, right.
Yeah, WMU has their missions celebration. Oh, golly. The California African American Fellowship has their event. Make sure you register for that. That they have the best music. I'm just going to say it. I say it every year. They have the best music. And then the Chinese, you mentioned the Chinese are having their prayer event. And one that I really want to make sure that we highlight and we talk about is Church West. We've never had this one before, but they're having a lunch to talk about the new legal issues coming out when it comes to church security. They're always very ahead on this compliance stuff.
It's important.
It's very important. And so if you're not going to be at the minister's wives luncheon, because that's the only thing that's at the same time, you really need to go to that.
Right.
Just this past Sunday, y'all might not know this, but as I was preaching, I had a gentleman on the front row off to the side jump up and lunge toward the stage while I was preaching, threw something at the stage, and then stormed out and almost like broke the door on the way out.
Wow.
And I have a team of men that followed and protected and everything. And so these topics are important.
Yeah.
Unfortunately so.
I know. In California, it's just so complicated with all of these all this legislation. And,
thank God for Church West. They do good work.
Yeah. So make sure you sign up for their lunch. They're gonna teach us.
And those are all the front end. Some of those front end meetings that are going to be having. On the back end, you also have the Hispanics that are going to be meeting on the property, and they're going to be having their the Alianza, which is their fellowship, is going to be getting together and having a time of worship.
And that one does not require registration, which is why it didn't come to my mind at first, because theirs is just come.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of these are on Friday?
They're on a variety of days.
Right.
Okay.
From Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, they're happening all the time. Let's talk about the exhibit hall. And now, Jason, you mentioned that the Pastors Conference starts at 3 o'clock on Thursday.
Yes.
Exhibit hall will open at 2 o'clock. So if you get there a little bit early, there will be some time there for you to go into the exhibit hall. Milpitas, this church New Vision, has so many wonderfully large spaces for us. I, in my arrogance, thought we could have so many exhibitors. We're never going to run out of space. Not only did we run out of space, but for the very first time, I had to turn away many exhibitors.
Oh, wow.
Because we did not have enough room.
Wow.
So it's a problem. It's a great problem. I don't know. It's kind of a paradox, I think, but we have a lot of exhibitors. So you'll want to make sure that you get into the exhibit hall. And there's actually not a lot of hours for the exhibit hall.
Right.
Because we've shortened the time over the years for the convention.
Right.
So, Pete, you have been talking about wanting to do this sort of festival at the end of convention. So we're foregoing our traditional exhibit hall after party. Tell us about what your vision is for this post-festival.
Well, I mean, I just want our families to come out to our convention. I believe that if we want the next generation to be involved in our Southern Baptist life, I think it starts with our children. And so I want our kids, I want our local churches to come out to this festival, get to know each other, and then see all the resources that are available for our churches. There's going to be, people that are going to be bringing stuff for kids. There's going to be ministries for adults, youth, all kinds of stuff that's going to be there that usually they go to exhibit hall small. This thing's going to be a lot larger, I hope. And we'll have snow cone, we'll have cotton candy. And I've asked some of our ethnic churches to bring some special treats, and everything's going to be calorie free, no carbs. So you don't worry about the diet on that day. I won't worry about the diet on that day. But we will have jumpers and all kinds of stuff to entertain the kids, but also to educate our people. Right. And it's going to be just a time of coming together and celebrating. So I'm excited about finishing up that part of our meeting in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're at a church that's nearby, within an hour probably,
right,
come on down and bring the family and learn about what it means to be Southern Baptist and have some cotton candy.
Yeah.
I know that I was telling you guys, one of our exhibitors, the Israeli tourism group that comes every year, they're going to teach kids how to play the dreidel game. And I was like, not just kids, you're going to teach me too, because I'm going to be there because I want to know. So there's been a lot of forethought and planning, and so it's going to be really good. I think Guidestone's going to be there as well. Mm-hmm. So lots of resources.
They come every year, right?
Hey.
They're going to stay for that
and
after.
There's nothing more Southern Baptist than family, children, and dinner on the ground.
Right. Potluck.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's going to be really exciting. I don't know if it's going to happen again, but it's happening this year. Right. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we've changed the schedule. Do you want to address that at all?
Sure. I mean, I know that this year, a lot of people have been telling me it's going to be hard for us to go because we have church on Sunday, just a lot of different things with people's schedule. And I get people's times are tight. But next year, we'll go back to our traditional, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And that's the way we have it planned for the next 2 years. And, depending on the feedback that we get back and the attendance that we have this year, we will continue to go for the following years. We work with a committee. That committee decided, let's do this year this way. And then next couple years, we're already scheduled to go back to our traditional schedule.
Yeah. So knowing that we're a little bit off, Jason, how do we encourage pastors to stay for the whole thing? Don't rush back necessarily.
Yeah, you've already put out the expenses to be away, to be there. I just encourage pastors to look at it as an opportunity to get away, to take a little break. I always tried to have someone fill in for me on Sunday.
Yeah.
Just so that if me and my wife, we can get away. And part of that time away is a kind of a work vacation.
Right.
But then once it's over, why not take at least a 24-hour rest? And so I would encourage pastors to think of it that way. Or maybe you're not a pastor, but a member or a leader in the church. I'm asking you to think about it this way for your pastor. Give them a little extra. Let them stay that extra night in the hotel or whatever and get some rest. I promise you their preaching will be better when they get back.
For sure. I think along the same line, for pastors that come to convention, the programs are wonderful, right? Everybody prepares to give you the very best. But I think that even as wonderful is that fellowship time and making new friends and being ministered to. There are things that a lot of you are carrying and you feel like you're carrying them alone. I really want to encourage you that when you come to convention, that you spend time getting to know others and ministering to one another, because that's what God has created us for, to be a family and to help one another out. And so be vulnerable when you come and be willing to open up your heart with other people, because this family is truly special and we should be here for one another.
In fact, it is that aspect that brings a lot of churches into the convention. If you were born as a Southern Baptist or raised in a Southern Baptist church, you might take some of this for granted, but when I talk to churches that we're bringing into the convention, this is one of the main essential things that you can't find anywhere else.
Correct.
The Southern Baptist is really like a family.
Right.
And when you're out there doing the Lord's work, it can be lonely and it can be difficult when you're trying to do it alone. And so this is a way to come together, network, make new friends, meet old friends, and realize that when you leave this place and go back to wherever you're serving, you're not alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Okay, I think we've hit everything that has to do with convention. I'm pretty sure. Who knows, right? There's so much that goes into it. But we do want to say one thing before we get to our funny story is we're adding an Easter egg to our set.
Yes. Well, because we have new cups,
our new mugs.
We will be putting up a mug in our set. Now, because our set is kind of new, you're going to have to look to see where this mug is going to be at. A special mug. It's going to be either one of our partners or it's going to be perhaps a church. So if you want to send us mugs, send two, one for the studio, one for me, because I do collect church mugs. But if you find the mug, okay, if you're the first one that says this is the mug and this is the church or this is the partner, we will make sure that we get you something special.
Yeah. So find it, and then if you can tell us what it is, then it's a new game we're kind of incorporating into the show a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So we need a funny story, guys. Let's wrap this up.
All right. Funny story. My goodness. Okay. So, we've been doing this listening sessions up and down the state. I drive close to 30,000 miles every year across the state. Okay. I was driving back from San Diego on Wednesday after our listening session, and I'm trying to get back I'm going to my parents' house with my grandson and my daughter and my wife, and we're on the 5 freeway, and all of a sudden the air pressure on my tire starts going down. And I'm able to get off the freeway and park in this warehouse area parking spot. And while I'm there, I realize my tire's done, and I'm like, okay, I take off my nice shirt off. I start taking the tire down off the back of the pickup. It's a Silverado. It's a 1500. It's not the 2500. It's a 1500. And I'm taking the tire down, and I take out this jack, and then this microphone stand is bigger than this jack.
Oh.
And I'm not able to raise the truck up. So my wife says, do you want me to call road service? We have road service. I said, sure, go ahead and call them, right? It's 40 minutes. So my goodness, we tried everything to not use these folks because this truck is so heavy.
Yeah.
Right? Well, we're waiting for the tow truck to come. And we're tracking them on the app.
Oh.
And we see no tow truck. And they said, we just passed you. We saw no tow truck pass by.
No.
They called my wife and said, we have to do a U-turn. We're coming back to you. Well, yet next thing you know, we have this black Toyota Prius drive up right next to us.
Wait a minute now.
You didn't say Prius tow truck.
No.
A Prius.
A Prius. A hybrid. Prius. And this lady gets out the car.
No,
wait a minute.
Come on.
Wait a minute.
Now, she looked like she'd been in the bottom of some cars,
Oh,
that's right.
She was quite dirty, like she'd been working, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And she gets down, and I said, I sure hope you have a big jacket. She says, oh, yes, I have a big jacket. She goes to the back of her Prius, and she brings out this 3-ton jack.
Okay.
And she puts it on the bottom of the truck, and she's just like, I'm having a hard time putting this thing up, she says, because I can't get to the bottom of the pickup.
Oh.
Because it was a 3-ton jack, but it was kind of short.
Oh.
And my goodness, she struggled.
Oh,
it was hot out there. We were sweating. I was dripping. She's dripping over there in sweat. She's trying to figure out a way. She's telling me, where do you think we should get this from? We're both on the ground, trying to figure this out. My wife's just looking at us, just nodding her head. And so she finally gets a jack in there. She starts picking the truck up. And she goes, my jack's, it's maxed out, and the tire's still on the ground,
This is terrible.
And so we tried a whole bunch of different ways. She finally got that thing to go up, and she starts taking out the tire, and I see the jack starts moving.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And she started sweating like nobody's business. And she's like, get me the tire back, get me the tire back. And she puts it back on, puts the bolts back on there. Anyway, needless to say, she says, if I wasn't tired before I got here, I'll be tired by the end of this. It took like 45 minutes.
Wow.
To finally readjust the jack, to be able to change the tire out.
So she didn't quit.
And she did not quit.
Good for her. That's
I'll
right.
tell you.
Tow trucks are not like they used to be.
Huh? No, this is a California tow vehicle. It's a Toyota Prius.
That is not a tow vehicle. That is not a truck. Nor does it tow.
No. Road service, man.
I don't know about
I'll tell
that.
you, it wasn't AAA. I'll tell you that.
Oh, man. Well, good for her. I'm proud of her. She did it.
We gave her a really good tip.
When I call a tow truck, I'm expecting a truck, a big truck, and a guy named Bubba to get out. You know what I mean?
It was none of that.
Bubba.
None of that.
Your Southern is hanging out over there, Jason.
Trust me. When you're on the side of the road, you're looking for Bubba.
Oh, my Lord.
That's, I'm not sure if that's a funny story. It's kind of sad, actually. I'm stressed out.
Hey, I got home.
We
were all safe. Nobody got injured.
Okay, good.
I was already laughing when I pictured you taking your shirt off on the side of the road. Like, there's our executive director.
That's right. The things they don't teach you in seminary.
That's right.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing you all in Milpitas in a couple of weeks at the annual meeting. Thanks for listening. We have an email address, podcast@csbc.com. Until next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.